The strawberry flavor in your yogurt has never been near a strawberry. The fresh linen scent in your laundry detergent was never inside a linen closet. The new car smell that makes a vehicle feel premium and desirable is not a byproduct of manufacturing. It is sprayed on deliberately. Almost every scent you encounter in a packaged product, a retail store, or a clean surface was engineered inside a laboratory by scientists most people have never heard of. This hidden industry generates over $40 billion every single year. And somewhere at the center of it is a detail so quietly manipulative it changes how you think about every product you have ever trusted. A small group of companies controls what the entire world smells. And the way they maintain that control is something almost nobody talks about. Smell is the most powerful sense connected to human memory. Neuroscientists have established that the olfactory system, the brain's smell processing network, connects directly to the limbic system, the region governing emotion and memory. A single scent can transport a person back decades in an instant. The smell of sunscreen recalls a childhood beach. The smell of cinnamon recalls a grandmother's kitchen. Marketers understood this long before scientists finished explaining it. And they acted on it. Walk through any supermarket and consider what you are actually smelling. The bakery section near the entrance releases warm bread aromas that trigger comfort and appetite. The cleaning products aisle smells sharp and citrus bright, signaling effectiveness and hygiene. The cosmetics section breathes out something floral and aspirational. None of these scents are accidental. None of them are simply byproducts of the products themselves. They are designed responses, engineered to produce specific emotional reactions in the person walking past. Most consumers assume that a product smelling like roses contains rose. That a shampoo smelling of coconut was formulated with coconut oil. That a cleaning spray smelling of lemon contains actual lemon. The reality is almost never that simple. Natural scents are expensive, inconsistent, and difficult to source reliably. So companies turned to chemistry. And chemistry delivered something better. Scents that were cheaper, more consistent, and more potent than anything found in nature. But here is the detail that deserves closer attention. The companies creating these artificial smells are not the brands whose names appear on the bottle. They are invisible suppliers operating behind every label. And a handful of them control the scent of nearly every product in your home. There are laboratories in Switzerland, New York, and Singapore where scientists spend entire careers doing one thing: creating smells that do not exist in nature but feel as though they always have. These researchers carry the title of flavorist or perfumer, and their work is part chemistry, part psychology, and part art. The tools they use include thousands of synthetic aromatic compounds, each producing a distinct olfactory note. Aldehydes for soapy cleanness, musks for warmth and depth, esters for fruity brightness, terpenes for green, natural freshness. A single commercial fragrance can contain 50 to 200 individual chemical compounds, blended in precise ratios to produce a unified scent experience. Testing is rigorous and methodical. Panels of trained evaluators assess each iteration for emotional resonance, not just technical accuracy. Does this smell feel trustworthy? Does it feel expensive? Does it feel clean? These are not aesthetic questions. They are commercial ones. Because the scent of a product directly influences whether a consumer picks it up, buys it again, and recommends it. Consider fabric softener. The product's primary function is mechanical, softening fibers. But consumers do not judge fabric softener by how their clothes feel. They judge it by how their clothes smell. Companies understood this decades ago, and the fragrance became the product's primary selling point. The same principle applies to shampoos, hand soaps, candles, air fresheners, and dozens of other household categories. The formula inside the bottle is largely secondary. What drives loyalty is the scent. And that scent was never created by the brand whose name is on the label. It was purchased from a company most consumers could not name if asked directly. That fact raises a question that keeps surfacing the deeper you investigate this industry. Why does nobody know who these companies are? The fragrance industry operates through a model of deliberate invisibility. The companies supplying scents to major global brands have no interest in consumer recognition. Their clients, the Procter & Gamble's, the Unilevers, the L'Oreal's of the world, have no interest in disclosing their fragrance suppliers either. The result is a market structured around secrecy by mutual agreement. The dominant players in this space are known within the industry, but almost nowhere else. Givaudan, headquartered in Switzerland, is the world's largest fragrance and flavor company, generating revenues exceeding $7 billion annually. IFF, International Flavors and Fragrances, operates across 35 countries. Firmenich, Symrise, Takasago, and Maine complete what industry insiders call the Big Six, a group of companies whose combined output scents the majority of consumer products sold on Earth. Their process begins with a brief. A brand approaches a fragrance house with a concept. Something like fresh morning confidence or luxurious warmth or clean tropical escape. The perfumer interprets that concept through chemistry, building a fragrance formula designed to trigger specific emotional responses in a target demographic. Multiple versions are created and tested. Neurological and psychological research increasingly informs these decisions. Eye tracking studies, skin conductance tests, and consumer recall experiments help quantify which scents produce the strongest emotional engagement. Once a formula is approved, it is licensed exclusively or semi-exclusively to the client brand. The brand incorporates it into a product, launches it globally, and builds consumer loyalty around a scent they do not own and cannot replicate without the original supplier. This dependency is not accidental. It is the architecture of the business. The fragrance house creates the scent. The brand builds emotional equity around it. And neither can fully function without the other. The global fragrance and flavor market reached approximately $32 billion in recent years, and is forecast to exceed $45 billion within the next several years. That figure encompasses both fragrances, the scents used in personal care products, household goods and fine perfumes, and flavors, the synthetic taste compounds that give processed foods their characteristic profiles. Together, these two categories form one of the most quietly dominant industries in global commerce. The food and beverage sector alone accounts for a massive share of synthetic flavor demand. Artificial vanilla, derived from lignin or guaiacol rather than vanilla orchids, is used in everything from soft drinks to baked goods. The global vanilla flavor market operates almost entirely on synthetic vanillin, because natural vanilla extract cannot be produced at the volume modern food manufacturing requires. The same logic applies across virtually every processed food category. Artificial strawberry, artificial butter, artificial smoke, artificial cheese. Each is a chemical approximation of a natural scent and taste, engineered for consistency and cost efficiency. The personal care market drives fragrance demand at equal scale. Global deodorant sales alone represent a multi-billion-dollar category, and every deodorant on every shelf carries a synthetic fragrance profile designed to associate the product with a specific lifestyle aspiration. Luxury perfumery operates at the extreme premium end of the same supply chain, with certain fragrance ingredients commanding prices of thousands of dollars per kilogram. The healthcare and pharmaceutical industries use scent masking agents to make medications palatable. The real estate industry uses scent diffusion during property viewings to make spaces feel warmer and more inviting. The hospitality industry, hotels, casinos, and cruise lines, invest significantly in proprietary scent identities designed to create brand recognition through smell alone. Every one of these applications traces back to the same invisible suppliers at the center of the industry. Return now to the detail introduced at the very beginning. The new car smell. It is one of the most recognized and emotionally potent scents in modern consumer culture. People describe it as the smell of quality, of investment, of something new and valuable. Automotive manufacturers have long understood that this scent influences buyer satisfaction and perceived value. Studies show that new car smell triggers positive emotional responses associated with achievement and luxury. And consumers pay a premium, consciously or not, for the experience of that scent. Here is what most people do not know. New car smell is not a natural emission from fresh materials. It is a complex mixture of volatile organic compounds off-gassing from adhesives, plastics, and treated fabrics. In some markets, regulators have raised health concerns about prolonged exposure to these compounds. But that is not the strange part. The strange part is that automakers now work with fragrance houses to engineer and enhance this scent deliberately. Some manufacturers apply scent compounds to interior surfaces to intensify and prolong the effect. Others design cabin air filtration systems that preserve specific aromatic profiles while removing others. The goal is not authenticity. The goal is emotional association. The smell is engineered to produce a feeling of quality and value that influences whether the buyer is satisfied with their purchase. If a scent can be engineered into a vehicle to change how a buyer feels about a $40,000 purchase, what does that suggest about every other product on every other shelf? And why is this practice almost never disclosed to the consumer? Here is the full picture. The fragrance industry does not simply manufacture pleasant smells. It manufactures emotional responses. The distinction matters enormously. When Givaudan or IFF creates a fragrance for a household cleaning product, the brief is not just about making the product smell good. The brief is about making the consumer feel that the product is working, feel that their home is genuinely clean, feel that they made the right purchasing decision. The scent is a psychological instrument, and the companies that wield it have spent decades studying exactly which chemical combinations produce which emotional outcomes in which consumer demographics. This is why the Big Six maintain research divisions that rival pharmaceutical companies in scientific depth. They are not just studying chemistry. They are studying human neurological response. They are mapping the relationship between specific aromatic molecules and specific emotional states. And they are applying that knowledge commercially at a scale that touches almost every product in global retail. The secrecy surrounding their work is not incidental. It is structural. If consumers understood that the comforting smell of a product was an engineered trigger designed to build loyalty and repeat purchasing behavior, the emotional power of that scent would diminish. The invisibility is the mechanism. The industry works because the consumer cannot see it working. So the next time you open a bottle of shampoo, walk into a hotel lobby, or sit inside a new car and breathe in that particular smell, you are experiencing the output of one of the most sophisticated and least understood industries on Earth. A small group of scientists, working in laboratories most people will never visit, for companies most people will never hear of, are designing the emotional landscape of your daily life one molecule at a time. They are deciding what clean smells like, what luxury smells like, what comfort smells like. And they are embedding those decisions inside products you trust, products you choose, and products you return to because something about them simply feels right. That feeling was not accidental. It was manufactured. The real question is not what your favorite product smells like. The real question is, who decided how it was supposed to make you feel?